Guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to go over a story titled, How Do I Help My Daughter Through Her Infidelity That Will Probably Cost Her Her Marriage? And guys, what we have here is a story written by a woman, the mother of the girl that did the cheating. Normally, guys, in these particular type of stories, it's usually the girl that did the cheating and she's writing in looking for help, looking for pity, whatever, but not the parent of a child that obviously screwed up. And in this story, you're going to see how her daughter is, let's just say, she's not exactly a classy girl. Maybe she's good looking, and that obviously attracted the guy that she married, but the rest of her, she's a handful, and on so many different ways, right? But the guy that she married, this guy seems like a really good stand-up guy, the type of guy that every woman probably wants to marry. Good-looking guy, does well for himself, cares for her, treats her well, all those type of things. But how does she repay it? Well, we all know that story. You're also going to see here, guys, is that this girl has major insecurity problems. Okay, her mom's going to talk about that. And you're going to see that the other siblings in her family have issues as well. So a couple themes here in this particular story is you don't want to get involved with, you really want to be careful, obviously, who you get involved with in a relationship, and especially if you're going to get married, who you marry. You got to pay attention to her family. You got to pay attention to her friends, what they're like, because it's going to have an influence on her personality, her view on things, and also pay attention to the girls that have insecurity issues, because it can come back to bite you in the butt. And you're going to see that here. So I'm going to start off saying, hi, I'm new to Reddit, and this is my first post. I went through all the posts and this sub and others, Google multiple things, and found nothing that directly pertains to me, so I'm asking for help. My daughter had an affair. From what I've been told, it happened 3 times before she broke it off. 3 times? I guarantee it was more than 3 times. Guaranteed. Her husband found out the first night, and he kicked her out to live with her sister. He let her come back the next day and live in the guest room. He gave her a month to find a job and be out. He has offered to help pay for her for a place while she gets on her feet. My daughter is devastated and desperately trying to reconcile, but he is not having it, it seems. Well, as you're going to see, guys, as I go more into this guy is such a good stand-up guy on so many different levels and really tries to help this girl out because she's got a lot of esteem problems, that you can see that he's done. That's it. You know, after all the things I've done for you, and now you're having an affair and all that stuff, you're out of here. But now mom, who probably was the helicopter mom when the girl was younger, is trying to fix the problem and say, let this girl deal with her own problems. Details. I want to start by saying my daughter's husband is the kind of man you hope your daughter marries. He's so kind and handsome. He treated my daughter like an equal and always supported her and her hobbies. She has big problems with her self-esteem, and he was always talking about how beautiful she was. So right then and there, let me point this out. Guys, women, I've yet to know one woman ever that doesn't have some kind of a self-esteem issue with 1 or 2 things about themselves, okay? That are insecure about something. Every woman's insecure about something. And the interesting thing is, the more beautiful, good-looking women are more insecure, are the most insecure. No joke. So guys, these women that are really deeply insecure, very needy, all that, you don't need that. Okay, because no matter how many times you compliment them and try to make them feel good about themselves and do all these things, it doesn't matter. They need that constant attention and validation on a daily basis to make them feel better. And these are the type of women that get themselves on the different social media apps like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, OnlyFans, all these different things to constantly get attention from guys all around the world. And how long do you think it's going to take before that attention goes to their head, right? So these types of women, they're never, ever satisfied. Okay, so for a guy, and I tell you all the time, you know, in terms of the attention and validation, women need that like the way plants need sunshine and water. So, and especially nowadays with attention just at their fingertips because with their cell phones and computers. So women that are like that, guys, I would not get involved with because no matter what you do, you can't make them happy, and they're going to get that elsewhere. Just got to make that clear. Says here, she has big problems with her self-esteem, and he's always talking about how beautiful she is, blah, blah, blah. You could see his face light up any time he got to brag about her. When they got married, he encouraged her to quit her job that she hated. Anybody that met them would say how obvious their love was for each other. Well, obviously the love isn't that great, because otherwise she wouldn't have had the affair. Or multiple affairs, as the mom was mentioned in the earlier post. Maybe the guy saw her with the rose-colored glasses and saw her in a different way, but on top of all that, he's an incredibly clean person. When they started dating, I was amazed how much cleaner my daughter's place was, and I realized it was him. He's also very decisive, which is something our whole family lacks. He makes a plan and he executes it. So this is the type of guy that every mother would want their daughter to marry, you know. He's a good-looking guy, treats you well, he takes care of things, he's decisive, he takes care of her, all these things. Obviously, he's making enough money that she doesn't have to work. Dream come true. But she's saying right here her daughter's really insecure. All that sounds like her daughter's a slob. Her daughter must be really good-looking to attract this type of guy. My daughter loves him as well, but she has a very hard time showing emotions. I can see the calming effect he had on her. She has a hot streak and gets her stubbornness from her father, but I saw those rough edges soften over time with her husband. She is very quiet and reserved, and he is very outgoing and friendly. They complement each other very well. Well, opposites attract, and you can get a guy or a girl in the relationship. One is very outgoing, the extrovert, and one's a little more quiet, more introverted, and there's balance and harmony there. I know a lot of couples like that. But you're putting all these together here, issues with her emotions and stubbornness, and the fact that she's a slob, and the fact that she's insecure, and put all these other things I haven't mentioned yet. It's not very good. Goes on, she is one of 5 kids. And this is about her siblings here. Pay attention, guys. One daughter is in a terrible marriage with a man who expects a maid, not a wife. The other daughter will probably be single for life. One son is estranged, and the other son is divorced after his wife cheated on him. I was so happy that one of my kids seems to have a shot at happily ever after until she blew it up. So again, let's review here. What have I always told you guys about the people you surround yourself with? Your friends, your family, all that. You want to surround yourself with good quality people that are supportive and loyal and are the type of people that you want to be like. But all her siblings have issues, have messed up situations. The one daughter's in what she describes as a terrible marriage. The one daughter, she thinks she's never going to get married, whatever that's supposed to mean. The one son is estranged. The other son is divorced because his wife cheated on him. So this is what the girl's used to. And nothing's mentioned about how mom and dad are like, but I'm going to guess not good. And the girl's a slob, and the girl has emotion problems, and the girl is deeply insecure. Guys, you don't need this. Okay, this is why you got to pay attention to these things. Don't go thinking you can fix a girl. Okay, you don't need to do that. There's plenty of options out there with women that don't have all these issues and problems you got to deal with. But so many guys think they got to be the white knight and be the hero. Well, a lot of times you trying to be the white knight and the hero, well, that dragon you're trying to slay for the lady, she ends up being the dragon and eating you alive. She called me 2 weeks ago, hysterical. I finally got it out of her that her husband, Andy, not his real name, had kicked her out. She confessed to her affair when I threatened to call him. I was dumbstruck. I told her I wanted to ask some questions and I expected honesty. I proceeded to ask questions no parent should have to ask their daughter. Well, the fact that she's actually asking her daughter makes me question the dynamics in the family here. She asked, did he do wrong things to her? I'm not going to say the word here because it's YouTube. And she said no. Did he neglect her? No. Did he not want sex? No. This one was worse because she explained it that she never wants sex and it's been the biggest problem in their relationship. I asked if he was terrible at sex, just looking for any justification that I could get to help my process. No. In fact, he was the best she ever had. He's apparently a very selfless lover. I was getting frantic and asked her why then. She doesn't know. Well, if he's all these great things and he's great in the sex, supposedly, and good looking, and she's not interested, that's probably because a big sign is she's getting it someplace else. And big surprise she was. She said she was just in a funk and didn't feel like her making these decisions. She felt completely worthless since she quit her job and felt undeservingly of Andy, and she was holding him back. So this is the I'm not good enough for him, so therefore I'm going to sabotage the situation. One of those types. Or all my other siblings are in screwed up relationships. It's going to happen to me because it happened to them, so I'm just going to sabotage it. I'm not worth anything, so therefore I'm going to sabotage it. See what I'm talking about, guys? This is why I always pay attention. Who your girl, are her friends, what her family's like, and all that. That can give you a big clue as what you can expect down the road. I've read a lot since then, and I'm assuming this is a disassociation. The guy she cheated with paid her compliments and gave her attention, ding, 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 and she just went with it. I asked what was different, and she said that Andy was telling her that she was beautiful for a decade, and she figured he would always say that, and it didn't mean much to her. Did you hear that? The guy, her husband's been saying for a decade, probably while they were married and before they were married, how beautiful she is. Didn't mean anything to her. You know why? Because she figured that's what he's supposed to do. Because he's my husband or he was my boyfriend. This is why, guys, when you guys compliment women all the time and things like that, if it's so much so often, they're going to think just, yeah, you're just saying that just to, appease me, make me happy, but you don't really mean it. That's why if you're going to do compliments, if it's your girlfriend or your wife, and you got to do it every once in a while, guys, I'm not saying a lot, this is why you do it in small doses. That way it actually means something to them, okay? If you did it all the time, it doesn't mean anything to them, okay? But I'm not saying you don't ever do it. If you're in a serious relationship, because I got plenty of relationships, guys, here, or you're even married, you got to do it every once in a while, otherwise they're going to get that attention someplace else. But you do it sparingly, okay? That will mean something. It says here, the guy her husband's been telling her that for a decade, blah, blah, blah. The guy she cheated with is so gross. He looks like a crackhead. Andy is well built and looks like an actor, but big in the Marvel movies. I don't get it. Well, I'll tell you what happened, because the guy that she says that she cheated with is gross and looks like a crackhead. He's disposable. That's what it is. This girl knows she can replace him like that. He's toast. He's expendable. That's why. A lot of these type of guys that these women cheat on, the Chad and Tyrones, aren't exactly the hottest guys. Okay? They just know in a heartbeat that they're just disposable. They're not going to come. They're not going to be bugging them. They're not going to be texting them or trying to get in a relationship. It's just for the hookup. Like I said, she's back at home now. Andy has said he will start dating again in a month. She told me that he hasn't decided whether or not to divorce yet. But since she has withheld and turned down his affection for so long, but willingly gave it to someone else, he wants to feel desired. You can't blame the guy. If she's obviously been turning him down for sex for so long, and it's his wife, and he now she cheated. She was having an affair multiple times. He wants to split up, and now he wants to start dating again because this guy obviously knows he's got value. He's got a lot of good things going for him. So, hey, you know what? He's entitled to have some fun and obviously be with women that do appreciate him and all that. I would just recommend he's careful. She says, this is bad for my daughter. We went on vacation with them last year and Andy got hit on a lot. I don't know if he noticed and pretended not to or if he was just oblivious. But if he starts seeing other women, they will see a strong, handsome man who owns his own house, has a 6-figure job, and is a genuinely great guy, and I'm sure they will try to lock him down. See, Mom knows. Mom knows this guy's a catch, and she knows her daughter's screwed up. But again, and I gotta wonder what Mom and Dad were like growing up. I like to know the dynamics of the relationship of Mom and Dad here for what this girl observed. Because all her siblings seem to be screwed up in the relationship department, so she obviously thinks that's just how it is. And I guarantee this guy's gonna kick this girl to the curb, which he should, because he is so out of this girl's league. It's unbelievable here. She must be really hot. That's the only way I can see this guy's involved with her. And she'll end up with some guy's probably a scumbag, because that's what she's observing with her other siblings. She's in her mind, hey, everybody else is unhappy, so I got to be that way too. I've been destroyed for the last 2 weeks. I haven't been able to stop crying. I can't imagine the pain Andy's going through, and I want to reach out to him, but I don't know if I should. I talk to my daughter every day. It's a whirlwind of emotions. I want to scream at her. I want to fly to their city and slap her. I want to comfort her. I want to fly her back and take care of her. I want to yell at Andy for throwing away their marriage, but I know that's not rational or right. You're darn right it's not right for you to go yelling at the guy for ruining the marriage. He didn't do anything wrong. He treated your daughter like a queen. He treated her like gold. And look what happened. Right? It's really unfortunate. Don't blame him. If anything, if this woman's a really genuine good person and cares about him, she'd be happy for him to move on and find happiness, because realize this guy's a good guy, and her daughter, who's an adult, screwed it all up. She doesn't handle, this is talking about her daughter, she doesn't handle criticism or being called out well, and she doesn't like being wrong. She told me she shuts down and gets annoyed when he tries to talk about the affair, which in turn annoys him. She knows it's wrong, but she'll get annoyed at me for telling her she has to be open and honest with him. So the daughter, amongst her many charming qualities here, and I'm being sarcastic here, she also does like handling criticism, being called out well when she's being wrong. You bet your butt she deserves to be called out for her actions. This girl is messed up. Says she knows it's wrong, but she'll get annoyed at me for telling her, and she has to be open and honest with him. How do I help her? What can I say or do to help her? What would you want your mother to do? Should I reach out to Andy? I am so lost and feel so helpless. Thank you for your help. I would tell Mom here to stay out of it. It's not Mom's business. But Mom was probably maybe a helicopter mom when the girl was young. Mom probably was a fixer, trying to fix everything. You can't fix everything. The only thing Mom can do is basically hang back because it's her daughter, fair enough, and be there for the daughter, okay? And the best thing the mother can do is, whether the daughter wants to hear it or not, is tell the daughter, hey, you screwed up. Okay, you had a great guy, was doing all these things, and you screwed up. And if you got some emotional, psychological issues, then perhaps you might want to look into getting some therapy, working some of those insecurities out. But given the description of her sisters and brothers and all that, there's a lot of problems in the house. But for the guy, if I was talking to this guy, I would tell him to end this now and get far away. And going forward, like I said in the video with the lessons here, really do your homework on the women that you get in relationships with, let alone if you get married with. Pay attention to what their family is like, the dynamics with the parents, what the relationships are, what the girl has with her siblings, what their relationships are like if they're married or whatever, what her friends are like, all the people in her circle to see, because they're going to have influence on who she is. I cannot stress that enough, guys. And also, pay attention if the girl's deeply insecure. If she seems like she always needs compliments and validation to make her feel whole, but no matter what you say, no matter what you do, you can't make her happy. You can't make her, well, we all know we can't make women happy anyway, but putting that aside in terms of like making her feel better about herself, if you can't do that either, you really got to wonder, is this worth it? I don't care how hot she is. I don't care how beautiful her face is, how smoky her body is, how much of a freak she is in the sack. It's not worth it, okay? There's plenty of options out there with much more well-adjusted women out there if that's what you're going for. So, but anyhow, guys, Mom's got to stay out of it. So, but all right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know if you've ever been in an experience like this. Let me know if you ever in your life, guys, have dated or been in a relationship with a girl and there were red flags about her family, her siblings, her friends, and did you pay attention to that and get out? Or did you stay in it and turn a blind eye and it came back to bite you in the ass? I'd like to know. That would help out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.